You've all heard of the post-spawn funk, but how many of you have experienced the pre-spawn funk? What causes the pre-spawn funk is a delay in the bass coming to the beds. Now, it can be caused by cold front, by length of day, by water levels, but those bass will hold on till the last minute before they climb up on those beds. And they are almost impossible to get to bite. They are ready to get up on that bed and do their business, and it sure ain't biting your lures. This time of year, you may even see males up fanning the bed, but they're not locked on and almost impossible to get to bite. Hey, BassGeek here, and on this channel, we love to talk about new baits and new techniques that'll help you catch more bass and have a damn good time doing it. We don't sit in our office or garage talking about baits. We are always, in every single video, out on the water testing these baits, these lures, these rigs that we're talking to you about. Rain, sleet, snow, shine, during the winter, during the summer, during the fall, during the spring, we're fishing through it all. And the baits we're going to be talking about today are going to help you when those bass are interested in getting up on the beds, laying those eggs, not feeding. They're ready to go, but whatever it is, like I said in the intro, there's something holding them back. Sometimes it happens. We're kind of having that on this lake right now. We've been out here today. We've been, seeing a lot of cruising bass, a lot of bass moving around. We've even found some males that are just starting to fan off the beds. But generally when this is going on, they're very hard to catch, especially when you're in ultra clear water like this. This lake today is probably down by the dam, I would say somewhere around about 8 to 10 feet clear, and mid-lake and up, it probably is still somewhere around about 5 foot, and I mean crystal clear visibility. So what do? We tried to throw Neds and Senkos and that sort of stuff. A lot of times your bigger bass at this moment, they're going to be opportunists. We can throw Senkos and sometimes they'll eat that, just not today. We've thrown Ned rigs, not today. Drop shots, not today. So something that I love to throw this time of year, right when they're getting ready to move up and they're just cruising the shallows, or a lot of times they'll be just out of that visibility line, just off that first break. If the visibility is 5 feet, they'll be down in that 5, 6, 7 foot range. So these baits right here, I think, are the ones that really, in the toughest of times, when those bass are cruising around or suspended in trees, blowdowns, over brush piles, I think these are the best way to get them to bite. They're super subtle. They're small, they're just a convenient snack. Like when you're walking by the freebie stuff in the grocery store, and it's just a little test, you just grab one, try it. I think that's what this represents to a bass. One dumb little bait fish swimming by in the wrong place that they can just slurp down. Micro or ultra finesse swim baits. This is an Angler Tungsten Eclipse head. I love the eye on it, with a 3-inch easy shiner from Kitech. Now, there's 2-3 different brands that I really like when it comes to these small swim baits, and I believe this is a Tackle Warehouse exclusive, and it's really, for the ultra clear water, one of my favorite colors. It's TW Ghost Shad. So Tackle Warehouse Ghost Shad, I believe, is the color. Performed great today. Now, a couple other baits that I really like that are around that same size is going to be the Exxon 2.75 Swammer. This color is called Pro Blue Red Pearl. And next up has got to be my Damiki Armor Shad Paddle Tail. And this is one of my favorite colors. When it's really high sky, bluebird, dead slick calm, the American shad is flat out money. So what I like about these baits are their thin profiles, tiny size, and their subtle tail movements. Originally I was actually throwing a 3.3 Kitech, and I had a bite on it, but it just seemed like it was maybe still just a little too intrusive. And as the water warms up, that paddle tail gets really wide. I think it's a great cold water bait. Well, these are a little more subtle. So they've got a little tighter tail kick, not as much body action, and I think these get more bites when those bass are super finicky. And that's why I like these 3 baits, because they're still extremely soft and got great tail kick. But when you reel them super slow on a light weight, you can keep them at that key depth for a long period of time, which allows the bass not to exert a lot of energy, which I feel like is key this time of year. And at different times, each one of those are going to pay off for you. Different days, different bass. It's just how it is. That's why those are my 3 go-to. But right now, I'm going to rig up the Easy Shiner for you. So as always, we're going to tie a pit seam knot. We're going to come through, and we're just going to wrap, say, 4 or 5 times. We're then going to come through that top loop. We're going to cinch it down, moisten, pull down tight. We're going to cut that tag in. Now, the Easy Shiner, I love the screw lock on these, but the Easy Shiner is a little thin. So you really have to be careful with this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to kind of measure up where it's going to come out. I'm going to put my thumb right there, and we're just going to put a little pick so that I kind of know where that's at. Then we're going to go right through the middle of the nose. Try and keep it as straight as we possibly can. Down the back. And right where that pick was, we're going to come out. We're going to push it up. Lift that nose just a little bit so that it's nice and fat. We're going to make that first turn. Nice and slow, keeping it as straight as we possibly can. Get it all the way up on there. And there you have it. It's on there. Now you'll see, you know, some of the spring come through. It's just like I said, these things are so thin, but you'll see on the other side, it's there. They still run true, and they, trust me, they work incredible. I've fished it like this all day. I will leave you another link to another head that just has the wire keeper on it from Big Daddy Baits, in case you just, you know, for whatever reason, you don't like that. So those links down in the description, make sure you scan this code right here, or go down in the description and hit that link so that you can bookmark these links. Bookmark it on your phone. If you scan it, bookmark it on your computer or your laptop, whatever. If you go to the links below, that helps us out a little bit. It doesn't cost you a dime, but we do make a little bit if you go order from Tackle Warehouse. We appreciate that. It helps us get out here and do this stuff on the water. So let's talk about the rod reel on the line we're going to use with this. You need a finesse rod. You need to make a long cast on these and stay at a distance, because these bass are super spooky this time of year. This is a Fitzgerald Versa. This is a medium heavy, but I'm pretty sure it's like a slow. It's got an incredible soft tip on it. So it's got a good backbone, but an incredibly soft tip. You can cast these bait a country mile with it. Got the microwave guides on the first guide here, and I've got that teamed with an Akuma that I've had for a long time. I think this is the ITX. Again, I'll put links in the description. I've had this for a minute. Really great reel. I love this reel. The only thing I can say bad about it, of course, is, you know, my EVA grips have kind of worn off. That's how much I like this reel. But, you know, I can replace this. It don't bother me right now. Of course, as always, I've got my K9. I've got my 10-pound test braid to an 8-pound test leader. You're going to get a hold of some big bass in clear water. With these small baits, if you want to get it down a little bit, you can run that 6-pound. 8-pound is just good all-around size for me, especially because they may be up around a little bit of wood. So it helps get them away from that. So you got to remember, these bass really are not there to feed. They are cruising, finding the place that they want to go lay their eggs, or they're finding the place they want to go make their beds. They're super finicky right now. They're super spooky right now, especially in this clear water. So most of the time, if you see them, they're going to be real hard to catch once you see them, because they're going to see you. So you want to stay back off the bank. You want to make sure that you're making long casts, either 45 or almost 90 degree the bank, depending on the contour. Slow, subtle bait. I think that's what really makes this bait so good, is that it's so subtle. You can fish it so slow that it just stays in their very small strike zone for a long time. Now the bass are probably going to spawn, especially the largemouth, in different places on a lot of your lakes than they spawn on mine. On mine, they can literally spawn on a point. They can literally spawn on a bluff. A lot of your largemouth are going to slowly move back to some ditches, some ditch pockets is what I call them. A lot of your smallmouth are going to find what we call slate rock, and that's what they're going to spawn on. Now, they might spawn way in the backs of creeks and some ultra flat areas. This really, for me, is when those bass have not pulled up on those beds, but they're in those sort of areas where they're just kind of roaming back and forth. Not really feeding anymore, just ready to make a bed or move up on one. You got to kind of find those areas where it's going to be the last deep water in a pocket or a creek or any sort of little staging area. You know, we were catching them today on creek channel swings right before areas that they generally spawn. Some of those places were, again, ditches and shallower pockets. Some of those places were right there on the main creek channel, literally just lips or where it's just a little bit flatter before it drops off into the abyss. So like I said, you're going to make a long cast. A lot of times I'm going to throw it up super shallow because I want to bring it down into that deep drop off, that first drop off, bring it out over top of it. That'll be a lot of times where you get that bite. So you'll bring it down. You're going to want to keep it right on the bottom. Every once in a while, you're going to want to touch bottom with it just so you know you're right there. So again, we go back to, if you never touch bottom, you're reeling it too fast. If you touch bottom all the time, you're reeling it too slow. And again, I think lightweight is important because it's going to help slow you down, and it's going to help slow the bait down and keep it in that strike zone. Setting the hook, it's going to be, you know, pretty much straight up or a 45, and then just take your time with these bass. You know, this is light rod, light line, pretty much light everything. So just take your time. Don't try to horse them in. You're going to lose them if you do. Come on. It's okay. Just lay over like a good boy. Oh, there we go. A little better than I thought, though. Oh, no Wrangler tungsten, 1/8 ounce. Look at that. Pretty fish. Yep. All right, geeks, we are out here fishing during the pre-spawn. These bass are getting ready to move up on the bed. They're extremely finicky. We're throwing a very small swim bait. But one of the things that we love is this. If you're fishing tournaments or you're summer fishing like I do sometimes, and I've got a big school of bass, releasing those bass immediately can spook that school and you're not going to catch as much. Fish care is something that I'm huge on, and there's a lot of different things you can do. Make sure you add some ice. Make sure you add something like this. Now, I've used all sort of treatments before. Me and my buddy Mike behind the camera have actually been testing this out for a little while now, and I feel safe enough to be able to talk about it. So the very first thing I'm going to show you is buzzer rocks. This is the tournament package. So basically all you do is you open it up and you got some tablets in here. So what these are is you've got 4 white tablets. Those create dissolved oxygen in the live well. You're going to put one of those in about every 4 hours. This is what's great about this. This is worth about 2 days. So one package should get you through 1 8-hour tournament day, no problem. Now, you'll put, as soon as you put the live well in, you'll put a pink and a yellow. What that does is it's like giving that bass Gatorade to get him ready to go, so that he's rehydrated or re-energized. And then, I ain't gonna say it the way it was told to me, but this one kind of calms him down, chills him out, you know, maybe you know, a gummy, we'll just say, if you know what I'm saying. So we get him healthy, we get him active, and then so he don't beat himself, we get him just kind of chilled out so he's having a good time riding around with us. But the dissolved oxygen, I think, is a huge one. You can buy these, I think, individually. You can get them on Tackle Warehouse. Another big one from Buzzer Rock is this right here. And I'll show you how to put them in just a second. But this is the Stop Bleed formula. And I have been hearing some big things about this. But this is the Buzzer Rock Stop Bleed. So if you hook a bass in the tongue, in the gills, spray a little bit of this on here, and it will stop and coagulate the blood, get him in, of course, into the live well, or release him healthily. So something else, and again, links will be in the description below. So far, I've used every juice and powder, and me and Mike have not seen bass as lively when we release them as we've seen on these. So back to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to start at the bottom. You just pop them out. There's a pink and a yellow. Now, they dissolve slowly. Run your recert, okay? Run your recert. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in one, because we want them to have plenty of oxygen. It removes all the bad stuff, adds all the oxygen. So here's how simple it is. Drop the pink, drop the yellow, drop the white. You can already see at the surface the bubbles coming off of those. So we're gonna go down this bank right here. We're gonna hold this fish for just a minute. We're gonna leave him right back in. He's not spawning, he wasn't on the bed. Pre-spawn, he's headed up the lake a little bit. But I'm gonna show you how lively this bass is in just a few minutes. We'll hold him. It's a hot day, 75, 70, I think it's gonna be 76 today, Mike. We're gonna go ahead and I'll show you how lively this bass is in just a little bit. All right, geeks, so you can see we've been running the recert. You can see it foams up real good. There's a lot of good oxygen, good bubbles in there. I'm gonna cut that off. Of course, you can still hear we're running our aerator on top. So we're gonna get him out of here. And as you can tell, he is still pretty lively, and we're gonna release him. Now, easy, Bubba, easy. Well, there he goes. Again, you can pick this up on Tackle Warehouse, guys. I am not sponsored by this company whatsoever. I just wanted you to see this because Summer's coming, fish care is important, and these, again, are the best I've tested. I love, if I can't tell you to get anything else, get the dissolved oxygen tablets and the stop bleed. Trust me, the tournament packs are worth every dime. But again, go check out Tackle Warehouse. Like we always tell you, either scan that code and bookmark it, or go down in the description, bookmark it on your, laptop, whatever. It does help us out. Doesn't cost you an extra dime. So for you geeks that don't know, on the homepage, if you scroll down a little bit, so on the BassGeek YouTube channel page, if you scroll down a little bit, we actually have playlists for winter, pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn, summer, and fall. So whatever information you need or technique you're looking for to help you catch more bass, you can go check that out. But since we're talking spawn right now, if you want to go check the spawn playlist out, go right here. Otherwise, questions, comments in the comments section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you can get the notifications when these videos come out. Geeks, we need you right now because of the hack. They're throttling us back. Thank you, 100% Watch Squad, and all of you geeks rock.